For lawyers, time is limited. What if you could expand time by changing your relationship to it?
Welcome to the New Billable Hour podcast, transforming the way you think about time in your law practice and life. And now, here's your host, lawyer and best-selling author, Ritu Goswami.
Welcome to episode 13 of the New Billable Hour podcast. Today's topic is busting the myth of multitasking. First, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this episode, Nankin and Verma, PLLC, located in Rockville, Maryland. Their immigration practice handles both corporate and individual immigration matters, and their litigation practice handles dispute resolution, breach of contract, airline litigation, and formation and reorganization of business entities. Nankin and Verma, PLLC, can be found at www.nankin.com or www.yourimmigration.firm.com. Let's get started with 3 breaths together. So find a comfortable seat and exhale everything. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. And last one, inhale and exhale. Very nice. Today we're talking about multitasking. And in college, probably before that, but I remember in college I was actually taught to multitask. I remember I took a class or some seminar or something about how I should be doing more than one thing at one time. And that is the way that I would excel at college. Maybe thinking about the next task I was supposed to do while I was doing one task. If I'm walking across campus, I should be thinking about a paper I needed to write. And this was like the culture, right? About doing more than one thing at once, which made you productive. And we are proud of our multitasking as we grew up. And we tell people, I'm such a good multitasker because I can do all these things at once. And ultimately, right now, science has shown that actually we cannot do more than one task at the same time. This is upsetting news, I know. What's really happening is that we're toggling between 2 tasks. So right now, if you're listening to this podcast and also working on something else, you're just going back and forth. So you're listening to me, then you're doing your other thing, then you're listening to me and your other thing. And of course, it works, especially for the smart professionals that lawyers are. We're able to go back and forth, right? And so when we're going back and forth, that's fine, because then whatever we missed, we're creating a picture of that and we can fill in the blanks. But really, it is harder to move our attention back and forth between 2 tasks. And we're ultimately less productive. Actually, we're tiring ourselves out. So you may be able to do this for a while and then it will catch up with you and you're not able to do it as much. Or you just burn out from this habit of having lots of tasks, lots of windows open in your life and trying to toggle back and forth. So there's a new trend. I don't know if it's how much speed it's catching, but called monotasking. Mono, M-O-N-O, basically meaning one. So instead of multitasking, how about doing one task at a time? So doing one thing at a time. And this is revolutionary, I understand, because it kind of goes against everything that we've been doing, that we've been taught, but actually focusing on the one task that's in front of you. And when you do that, you increase your focus. You can concentrate better on that task. Just think about what a better job you do when you're actually focused and in the zone. And it would likely take less time overall to do the task if you are just doing that one task. So they say that you can't do everything. I disagree. I believe you can do everything you desire, just not at the same time. we're often in a rush to get things done because we want to move on to the next thing, or we don't even want to finish the thing we have in front of us. We want to get on to the next thing, but then we just have this pile of of started unfinished projects, and we're not really doing what we want to do. We're not really uh, moving forward, right? We're not leveraging what we've done. So if we slow down and focus on one thing at a time, we can actually get that thing done, right? Actually complete a task. We know that that's what we love to do as humans. And then we can move on to the next. And it's a progression, right? And we've done it to become lawyers. We would complete our projects, our schoolwork to be able to get to the next level of school, and then we graduated, we took the bar, and then we had a job, and then we got the next job. And same thing with our firms. We do that. We learn a lot. The learning curve uh, is very real. We learn things and we move on to the next thing to learn, so we're always learning. However, if we can continue that in a more micro level with our daily workload, this means fewer projects left unfinished and more dreams realized. And this whole multitasking can go away, or we can notice when we're trying to do it and just honor it and let it go away. And we can embrace this idea of monotasking. So there's another name for monotasking. I don't know if you know it. It's called mindfulness. Mindfulness is a buzzword and people kind of don't know what it means. It's getting to be more popular in the legal profession and people equate it with lots of different things. But to dispel any disbelief or skepticism about mindfulness and whether it's for you, it's the same thing. It means paying attention to what you're doing. It's being mindful, right? We don't want to be mindless. We don't want to not pay attention to what we're working on. So this means paying attention. And I did a talk to a group of lawyers and I was talking about mindfulness, and one of the attorneys said, well, I'm not used to your language, but I do know that when I pay attention, I feel better. And that's what I'm talking about. We feel better when we're so connected with what we're doing. And when you pay attention to what you're doing, you can take risks. I know when I'm settled down in my work, I can push myself uh, to take risks, to think of things differently, to be more creative. And we can plunge into our life and work more readily. So when you pay attention to what you're doing, you can plunge into your life and work more readily. So your efforts are more satisfying and enriching, and you won't be as distracted by what you could be doing, what you should be doing, what comes next, what is unfinished. You focus on what you're doing right now and focus on completing that, whatever that means. And honestly, completion may not mean what you think it means, right? When you're really present, it means working on it until you're finished working on it. But maybe the task that you thought it was is not what it really is. It is doing something for a while and then feeling complete and then doing something else for a while. I mean, research is an example. In writing, we do it for a while and then we can feel at peace with it because nothing is ever finished, right? We're always able to make things better. But if we are trying to multitask and we're not even getting to that point of satisfaction or completion, it's a very unfulfilled and unsatisfying life. And it's kind of like, why are we here? Why do we do all this? Why are we lawyers, right? So if we can focus on what you're doing right now, especially in your law practice, and avoiding multitasking. So we're busting the myth here that is going to make you more productive. If we can embrace, even sometimes, this idea that multitasking is actually getting in your way and it is not what is going to get you to feel better, realize your dreams, feel more fulfilled, take on that next project. If you can focus on what you're doing right now in this moment, you will realize your dreams. You'll be able to be successful in whatever way you want to be. So if multitasking is hard for you, this is great news. It is supposed to be hard. It is kind of impossible. And so let's shift slowly. You can just pay attention, pay attention to paying attention to what you're doing in the moment and catch yourself, just meaning notice when you feel like you should be doing something else, when it feels too good to be true that you're actually working on one project. The other projects will be there, everything will be there in the future. Focus on the present in this moment, what is in front of you, and you will be more productive. So that's what I have for you today. Let's close with 3 breaths together. So find that comfortable seat and exhale everything. And take a deep inhale and exhale. Second one, inhale, exhale. And last one, inhale and exhale. Excellent. Thank you again to the sponsor of this episode, Nankin and Verma, PLLC, located in Rockville, Maryland. Their immigration practice handles both corporate and individual immigration matters, and their litigation practice handles dispute resolution, breach of contract, airline litigation, and formation and reorganization of business entities. Nankin and Verma, PLLC can be found at www.nankin.com or www.yourimmigrationfirm.com. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us on the New Billable Hour podcast with your host, Ritu Goswami. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you like to listen. To get your free copy of the New Billable Hour book and other resources, visit www.newbillablehour.com. You can contact Ritu directly at ritu@newbillablehour.com.